Today I want to talk to you about um, postpartum depression. I know postpartum depression is a lot when it comes to and of it comes to the woman mindset, when it comes to her body transformation, when it comes to her gaining weight, or in some cases losing a lot of weight, and then and then gotta getting her therapy or making sure she feel comfortable, making sure acknowledging that she's good looking, she's perfect, she's good, even though she's going through a lot mentally or physically. And when she look at the baby, she kind of gonna get some regret when it comes to, oh, look what you did to me, and look what you did to my body, look what you did to my mindset. It can be very hard on a woman, and I'm very sympathetic to that. And I will never understand what they're going through. In my case as well, I will never understand. And I try to read books, try to read some stuff, watch video, go through my own personal life, acknowledge and see how should go through her day, and try to be there for her. But even though she's going through a lot when it comes to postpartum depression or anxiety, the guy in the relationship also go through a lot too, especially in that period, because some of us that work in tech, the work doesn't really end at the office or at work. You could come home, so you got to work on, you continuously work on projects. And if you want to, make sure your life is on good, make sure your life is going good. You not just want to be relying on work. You want to rely on other things, like a second side, like a gig, second gig you working on, or some other stuff you working on to make sure your family come out good and you can provide for them. So it's very very hard on a man too in that process. So you're not just worrying about the financial aspect of it, which is your job. It's come with the territory. So you have to just back it up and just take it, which is stuff is fine. Complaining about that, but also the mental effect as well. Because even though you're taking care of her, you're making sure she's okay. Um, you after work, you come home. Of course you gotta take care of your kid. That's not part of it, but you gotta make sure you get therapy. Make sure she take her medication. Make sure she's good mentally. She doesn't just wander around in her head and then get in that episode of trauma, and then she begin to act out or begin to think differently, or begin to blame people that have been there for her a lot. You gotta make sure the whole house is stable, especially mentally, with her as well. And then also you gotta make sure the baby is good. You gotta make sure you're good, because if you're not good, you gotta make sure money's coming in. And obviously there will be family that want to interact, want to come in. Some for good reasons, some for bad reasons. You gotta tolerate that as well. So everything will be just on you, right? Everything will be at the man. Everything will be focused on you. At least some women come out of postpartum depression maybe 2-3 months after. Some women stay there for 2-3 years. I've seen like years, 2-3 years, which is very very bad, especially for the guy. If you gotta go through that process, 2-3 years, just imagine just one kid, right? If you want to have like 2 or 3 kids, man, you're gonna be facing all kinds of stuff in like what 6, 7, 8 years. So just facing all kinds of stuff. So postpartum depression affects the man as well. As men go through a lot. Men doesn't really express it or talk about it, but they sometimes face it like, man, I would like for things to be okay. I would like for it to be good. Get back to her routine. Get back to where she thinks it used to be. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes this will never get back to where it used to be. As a man, you gotta make tough decisions. Very, very tough decisions. Decisions that will that will affect the family in certain ways. So, yeah, the message is postpartum depression does affect the man. And, some men that are strong enough to face it, they might crumble or say like, you know what, though, this is too hard for me. Especially after 2, 3 years of going through that postpartum depression, that's very, very hard. Especially when you're doing all the heavy loading and all the heavy weight in the relationships. Because sometimes she will feel detached. She don't want to interact. She don't want to talk. She don't feel appreciated. She want to go somewhere else. You feel like you're just alone. And as time progresses, man, that become very, very tiring. That become very, very like annoying too. So you be like, yo, you know, be questioning yourself, like where this is going. You might be married, but you should be questioning yourself, like, man, can I stay in this? How long will this go on? You be questioning if you should have another kid, because if the first kid is becoming this problematic when it comes to her body and it comes to her mindset, you're like, man, should I put one more there? Or should I just let it be? You know? But, yeah, men go through postpartum depression. Men go through a lot of depression. They don't talk about it, but they just let it ride out. Well, I can sympathize with women a lot, especially when it comes to postpartum depression. But men, I'm a man going through that thing, man. It's hard. I see the guy having a kid, just have a kid, and then I'm looking at him, like, he going through a lot. He won't talk about it because it should be a good time, man. You can have a newborn baby, everything's going good. You're very excited, your future, everything's good. You're happy to see the kid, love the kid. But sometimes the guy gotta go through a lot, be doing too much just to compensate for stuff, man. It's just crazy. Hey, that's my take for the day. Men go through postpartum depression. That's my take.